morning on this Monday. Good to be with you. Blue Sky Live, Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio, as Ole Miss and Oklahoma get ready for an 11 a.m. tilt on Saturday in a game that really with either team does not look like what was expected in the preseason, even seeing that from betting line standpoint. As we look at lines today, start talking about Oklahoma and Ole Miss, the Rebels and Sooners. It is Galaxy Realtree pattern week. Those helmets coming out against Oklahoma on Saturday. Again, MPW 15% off always at realtree.com. More on them in a little bit as well. But we'll look at lines. We'll talk the sports world, get you back set to get your week done as we get ready for, again, Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Podcast brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations all over Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well. I think they're finally getting the Amory location back up after the tornado. Talked to Ben about that last week. And wherever you are, there's Sweets Daddy locations nearby. There's Oxford Exxon here locally, lunch specials, ribs, pulled pork, and much more. And again, we're back in the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark. Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900's the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. You get great service. After the sale, you get a great buying experience. Corey and the people there want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what it means when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guests will join all week on the Campbell Clinic hotline, from fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
So how many tailgates did you end up at on Saturday, Mr. McCready?
We went to a couple, and then we went to one that was a really big one. One of Campbell's good friends from college is one of like 4 girls, maybe 5 girls, that they all went to Arkansas, but they are from Louisiana.
Okay.
And so they had a big, massive, literally like everyone was getting invited, drunkenly invited on Friday night. And a lot of people obviously went. It was fun. Met a lot of people. Met some fellow Ole Miss people from Mississippi whose daughters go to Arkansas. So talked to them. It was fun. We ended up at that tailgate for the majority of the time.
Did you play any cornhole?
I did not.
Beer pong?
I did not. I didn't see anything.
Lawn darts? Nothing?
I'm sure there was some stuff around, but it was really crowded.
Did you stick with one type of alcohol all day and evening?
On Saturday?
Or did you mix it up?
I don't really want to talk about what happened Friday.
Okay.
So Saturday, I was really careful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It got a little dark.
Friday was a Friday. All day and into the Saturday.
So you didn't manage it very well. Made rookie mistakes?
No. I mean, I was aware of the mistakes I was making at the time I was making the mistakes.
It just didn't click how much we might pay for that later on. Is that what you're saying?
Just woke up on Saturday and realized that probably needed to consume some grease and probably needed to be careful.
I don't know if that's actually scientific, but it does appear that grease helps for whatnot. I don't think that's scientific. I think you just need electrolytes and water and some sodium and some potassium.
Yeah,
but
we walked over to, there was a JJ's near our hotel, which is a fairly prominent. If you're going up for the game, you'll see the main JJ's on Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
They have some
offshoots,
some satellite JJ's, and we were close to a satellite JJ, and we got there at 11 and just sort of ordered whatever.
And hung in for the majority of the game on Saturday.
Yeah. We went to, Arkansas cut it to 16-10 and forced a punt. And at that point, you're like, oh, well, this might get interesting. And then on the very first play, they had a ball deflected and intercepted and run back to the 2. And then LSU scored. And at that point, your thought process went to, let's beat the crowd. They're not coming back. And I think
did everybody else have that opinion too, or did you get out just ahead of the thought?
We were ahead. They Arkansas obviously got the ball back after that, and they got to like the LSU 40, and then their drive stalled. And when their drive stalled, I'm like, let's go. they're not going to win. They're not. This is not going to be a competitive fourth quarter. I've seen enough football to know where game was going. So we beat the crowd. It was packed.
Mm-hmm.
I told you this, and this is a shout out to people. We had decent seats. It was really crowded. You got to really want to go to a game. Like, I missed the press box and missed the TV.
No, it's why, and this plays into my
and I'll say this real quick,
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But when we're in the press box, and probably when you're at home watching on television, a TV timeout, you can get up, go to the restroom, go grab a beer, a soda, whatever. Or if
we have
you're-
our computers.
Or if you're in the press box, you're watching another game on your computer, you're scanning around, you're doing work, I'm writing an article, I'm not paying attention. When you're in the stadium, and where we were getting out to like the vendors and stuff, you had to walk over a lot of people. It just wasn't worth it. The TV timeouts are long and they are frequent.
They are.
And the first half of these games are programmed to last 2 hours.
They are.
LSU Arkansas style of play, the first half should have been much quicker. Both ran the football. It was a competitive first half. It was fine. That game should have been 30 minutes further along. But the TV timeouts, I'm convinced of this, are programmed to make the first half last
about 2
hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
And so sitting in the stands gave me a new – I've been anti-TV timeout for a while.
You become more anti-TV.
I watched that. I was like, if I'm sitting in the stands, like if I have little kids and stuff, that's miserable. And there's nothing really to entertain you. Arkansas had a really good halftime show. They did one of those big fancy drone things that everyone's doing now. It was really cool. For little kids, that was probably the highlight, the drones.
Sure.
They do some decent in-game stuff, but there's really not a lot you can do for 3 minutes. I was thinking about like game ops people. You don't know when the TV timeouts are coming. You just know they're coming. And then what do you do for 3 minutes? There was one that was like 3 minutes and 15 seconds. A kid got hurt. So the kid got hurt. They go out to check on him. I can't remember. I think it was an LSU kid got hurt. They go out to check on him. He's fine. He gets up. Thank goodness. I'm glad he was okay. He gets up and leaves the field, and yet they've already stopped play, and now the red hat guy's out there 3 minutes, 15 seconds, and you're like, really? They're ready to play. They had literally, it was like the second play of a series following a TV timeout. So there was like a 7-minute period where there was 2 plays.
It's why I was so frustrated last year when they decided we're going to change the clock rules to cut the actual football out but leave the commercials in. All you did was increase the percentage of time at the stadium we were in commercial break.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
And then you bragged about the games being a little shorter. And it was like, you stopped the football. So it'd be like baseball going, we're just going to 7 innings, but hey, look, we cut time off. Well, thanks.
So I think if I were a normal person, after like watching all that, I'll just use Arkansas as the example because I don't really know all the other places. I could have left the tailgate. The game was at 6. I could have left the tailgate with everybody else at 5:30. I could have walked to Dixon, gotten in one of the sports bars or whatever,
and just hung out
and watched that game, been able to keep up with Georgia, Texas, which I couldn't do because it was hard to get Wi-Fi. They had Wi-Fi available in the stadium, and it worked. But me and 77,000 of my friends were all doing the same thing, so the Wi-Fi has limitations. So I could keep up with the Georgia game, but I couldn't like stream it. I would have, give a do-over. I would have gone to a bar and watched the game at a bar rather than spend the money to go to the game in the stadium. And I think that applies to just about everywhere.
It's another thing that that schools are battling in addition to everything else that's going on right now. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And it's, by the way, I see the 2 most popular hangover foods to be McDonald's, Cokes, and sausage biscuits in the stream. So that's where we're.
I got a fried chicken sandwich. It was delicious.
I bet that was really good at the time.
It was really good at the time.
A little spicy or just mild?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just ordered what was on the menu.
Okay. Well, now look, we're in a world, and I'm not going down the big business thing right now. That's not my point. we're in a world though of so much change and nobody knowing what this looks like that I sat around Saturday and watched a lot of football. We Ole Miss obviously didn't have a game, so I watched almost every snap of Auburn and Missouri on Saturday morning. Flipping to other games, but that's where I was mostly focused. Alabama, Tennessee, with some flips,
I saw very little of that one.
and then I had seen so much football in my day that I was keeping up with Georgia, Texas, and I flipped back to it when it was close or there was something considerable, but I did not stick to it the entire time. I actually watched a Netflix show at one point because I had to get away from it for a minute. I'd already seen 12 hours for the day. But in general, I watched a ton of football. And we talked about this with Jeffrey a little bit on Thursday, and we've been nibbling at the edges for a while, but we keep going, is anyone good? Good's changed. Good doesn't exist in the way that we knew good, maybe even before this year, but especially before a couple years ago, for a couple different reasons. Nobody are these Georgia, Alabama legacy dynamic. They can never lose. By God, they are world crushers because of losing depth and all the stuff. Like, again, the why is not really the importance right now. The point is, we're going to have to completely recalculate our minds on what good means, because good means consistent as much as anything. Good means finding a way to win on days where you're kind of clunking. I think that's where you are right now. And sure, is it parity? I guess it's parity. I guess that's the word for it, because a lot of teams can beat teams and other teams are better and all these things. But it is a change in the product to where what used to be above average is now really good. It's worse. The gameplay is worse. Now, that doesn't make it less compelling. It doesn't make it less entertaining. Maybe it makes it more entertaining for the fan, depending on what they're looking for or how they view it. But I think when we're coming into this thing, we're about to see teams with more losses get prime spots because everybody's going to have more losses. I think you're going to see a change in dynamic as far as what we're considering good in the preseason, what the expectations are when we do those little WLs next year. We're going to have a whole lot more tosses. There's nothing that's automatic in our minds the way even this year I know we were just playing the game, but even more so of going, hell, I don't know. Who knows?
Sure.
It is a quarterback league in a ton of ways. I just tell you, I watched all this football and went, nobody's great. Good is a completely different process of where it was. Teams that have a little bit of continuity can suddenly be really competitive.
Army says hello.
Army says hello.
They're good.
They are legitimately
good.
They
played a bad team.
They play a different style of football, which helps. All these different things. And I guess I just I sit there and just stared at it and went, I'm entertained. I find it compelling because of a lot of reasons. But I'm not even really judging gameplay because it's not about gameplay right now. It may be more so than ever. We're being entertained more than electrified by the actual gameplay. Does that make sense? It's become a version of professional wrestling almost, because we got people moving around all over the place. We've got more mistakes, which creates more chaos. Because that's what happens. You make more mistakes when you're not as good. You make chaos. You've got spots. I mean, all these different things. And it's what college football has been. We like college football because of the absurdity of it with everything around. It's one of the reasons. Pageantry, emotion, and absurdity are the reasons why we like college football. But yeah, as Hayden says, the margins are slimmer. So many more games are decided by one play, by one series, by one possession, all these things to where I went, the matchup.
The matchup's huge.
It's why transitive property is so stupid.
No, it doesn't work.
I mean, was it Ross Dellinger that literally got us from Georgia and Texas to Charlotte and ECU?
I didn't see
on
that.
Transitive property. ECU fired their head coach yesterday.
Oh,
yes, yeah. And Charlotte sucks.
Well, I watched talking about this game because I was at the game. I did have to do that. I could watch Will Campbell play every single Saturday and just put my eyes on watching him. He's elite. So, he controlled Landon Jackson for the most part. Arkansas moved him around, but they prevented him from being really disruptive in the way that they're used to him being disruptive. And he's very good. He's a first-round pick. Campbell was able to kind of stonewall him. So if you're another team, so you have they play at Mississippi State this week, right? you go, okay, well, they're primed for a loss. And they very well may be. I don't know. But does Mississippi State have the tackle that can stonewall him? Does Ole Miss have the tackle that can stonewall him? If you're a team playing LSU, you need to have two disruptive ends, because the one on the other side, the tackle on LSU's other side, he's okay, but he's not Campbell, right? So if you have that, well, then you're a better matchup for them. If you don't, well, you're a different kind of matchup for them. And if you can be a balanced offensive attack, I think you can have some success against LSU. But if you're a little more one-dimensional, they have enough players where they can scheme that dimension away. So LSU could look like world beaters one week and then get beat the next, and it can be nothing but just kind of matchup oriented.
Yes.
Arkansas can get blown out by LSU because they really couldn't handle Campbell, and that quarterback's good. I'm on the Nussmeier mountain, and I'll fight you. He's good. He converts plays. He is so good at taking. Hey, it's 3rd and 7. He'll take that 9-yard pass. He's not always trying to hit the home run. You can tell he's a smart kid. You can tell he's from a football. You can just look at him, watch him play. And I've now watched him play 2 weeks in a row, and sign me up. Sign me up. In fact, I might take him above any other quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I guess that's my point, is every team has a flaw, so it depends on what the other team can exploit or not exploit, and that's going to base off that matchup for the week. It's not about, oh, well, they lost to so-and-so, so see, they suck. No.
I'm not sure anybody sucks. Traditional
But no one sucks because no one's great.
Could be.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone's great.
I mean, Georgia
is very good.
They also beat Kentucky by a point. Should have lost probably, and got beat by a team that lost to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And Bama looks pedestrian as hell at times.
But see, here we're getting into the transitive thing.
Exactly.
A lost to a Tennessee team that lost to Arkansas, that lost by
that's my point.
27 to LSU. I mean, you just go on and on. I think if you have to be willing, and a lot of people aren't, because sensibly you should be able to take the transitive property and apply it, but it doesn't work. And so unless you're willing as a fan to just throw that out and acknowledge that, hey, it is kind of week to week.
And like I said last week, college kids are not as consistent as professionals. They have other crap going on. You don't know what their mood is that day. There's so many elements that make it impossible.
Not just the kids.
Oh, amen. I mean, it just, you don't know what you're getting from, because Kentucky sucks right now.
Kentucky has sucked for a while. They're like 2-13 in their last 15 SEC games.
Yeah.
I mean, not to get into the, hey, let's beat up the Ole Miss fans while we're here.
But yeah, the guys, that's the one.
If the season doesn't go the way you thought it was going to go at the end of the year, let's say you're 9-3 and you lose to Georgia. Two things. One, the losing 3 games probably showed you that you weren't a championship team.
There's a difference between getting in and winning the thing.
But the loss that knocked you out of the playoffs would not be the LSU loss or the Georgia loss, because frankly, LSU might be a 2-loss team. The loss that's going to kill you, is Kentucky. And it's a bad loss that looks worse every week.
It is.
Now, is that completely fair? Because Kentucky was a different team in the middle of September than they are today, but their body of work at the end of the year, I think, is probably going to be less than stellar.
Yeah.
And you're going to look at it and go, well, that was kind of a, quote, inexcusable, end quote, loss. And I'm not sure that word's not fair, right? I mean, there are losses that at the time look bad that end up not looking bad, and then there are losses that at the time don't look terrible, and at the end of the year they're an oozing
pus-filled
right in the middle of your forehead, right between your eyes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, for Ole Miss, I mean, and look, I mean, they hadn't beaten Florida in Gainesville yet. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's some stuff left, and I don't know, Mississippi State, who knows what they'll be by the end of the year, but I'll give them credit. And I've said this consistently now, for a
They're
team
playing
that's
hard.
winless, they don't play like that.
No, they're playing hard. Quarterback's done well. True freshman.
No.
Done a good job.
Team you'd like to play is you'd like to play Auburn and take a deficit into the fourth quarter, because it's almost assured that you're going to come back and win.
Yeah. All right, we'll get into lines and some other thoughts from the weekend in a second. First, you've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce, but you have them covered in sauce. Wendy's new saucy nugs take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, or if you're a real heat seeker, spicy ghost pepper. Only a Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. 7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products, people, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-8011. 1777. 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, South Haven, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429. I'll have a post-game column to you sometime Saturday afternoon. That's brought to you by Window Hero. From window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between, Window Hero has the experience, equipment, expertise to help your property look and feel brand new. Their experts are fully bonded and insured. Window Hero provides specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions, a satisfaction guarantee, and they can clean up to 4 stories on buildings. So get in touch with Roby and Susan Allen at 662-510-7077 to get an estimate. Learn more at windowhero.com. Take advantage of Dead Soxy's fall sale. Get 25% off site-wide. That includes the Ole Miss, NIL socks, everything else. Everything site-wide. With the code Rebel Grove, you get 25% off the best socks you'll ever put on your feet. The no-shows, it's the holiday season. You can get holiday-themed socks as well. Everything 25% off with promo code Rebel Grove. I'll have a Monday report to you later today that's brought to you by Southern Q Sauce Craft Barbecue Sauce. We've got this small, it's crafted in hand in small batches to capture the tangy, sweet, smoky taste with just enough heat. They've also got multiple rubs, Old Faithful, Old Smoky, Honey Pecan, the Clucker, the Longhorn, and more. Use the code Rebel Grove at checkout and get 15% off your order. It's also available locally at Oxford Meat Market Company, Barbecue All-Stars in South Haven, Finchers in Greenwood, Martin's Market in Flora, and the Gift and Art Shop in Clarksdale. I'll have a MPW Digital Extra to you on Thursday. Do the first of those interviews this afternoon. It's brought to you by Rustic Revivals, based out of Flowood, Mississippi. Rustic Revivals builds tables, and other furniture by hand with locally sourced lumber. The husband and wife team of Josh and Ashley Pierce specialize in custom-ordered tables, beds, dressers, coffee tables, bookshelves, decorative cabinets, chairs, and more. They have a limited selection of ready-for-pickup pieces available in their shop. They deliver within 250 miles of Flowood. Podcast listeners can take 20%, up from 10, 20% off their purchase by using the code REBELS20. The QR code will be on the YouTube stream on Thursday. You can also just go to rusticrevivalsms.com, use that promo code, or you can check them out at Rustic Revivals on Instagram. You can order directly by calling them at 228-217-1243 or email rusticrevivals@gmail.com.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync. For your prescriptions the same day, month, and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it from G&M. They also transfer your medications. One phone call, they take care of the rest. So whether you're in Holly Springs or Oxford, that's 662-236-2222. So I passed over this because I wanted to come back to it after the break. Andre, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. He says, it might be getting old, but for me to take my family to a game, I'm not a big fan because of the drunk people in the crowd and the fighting. AKA, look at Texas fans throwing stuff on the field. I don't know that I got, like, emotionally bothered necessarily, but I got pretty frustrated with the officiating thing during the Georgia-Texas game on Saturday night. I know you were at the other game.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I really haven't seen it.
So to update everybody that maybe was out of game or doing whatever, just put for the podcast listener's sake and for Neal's sake, Georgia had dominated the game 23-0. We're in the second half, and it's in the third quarter. I've actually got the SEC statement that I was going to read here in a second ago, so I can tell you the exact timestamp, but it doesn't necessarily matter either. 3:12 to play in the third quarter. Texas intercepted a pass at the Texas 46-yard line, returned it to the 9-yard line, going in for the touchdown.
Okay.
9 yards away, first and goal from the 9. The official threw a flag for pass interference on the play, which would have given Georgia a first down in Texas territory to keep their drive alive instead of Texas having the ball at the Georgia 9-yard line to go in to cut into the deficit.
Okay.
It was a terrible call. It was not pass interference. The defender played the ball exceptionally well, picked it off, and should not have been thrown.
Okay.
So fans start pelting the field with trash like we see. They had to stop the game for a considerable amount of time. While this is going on at the very beginning, the officials mark the ball for the penalty, give like everybody set up, ready to go, completely mark everything to start play with Georgia accepting the penalty and getting 1st and 10 on whatever yard line it would have been. Got me?
Got it.
Okay. During the commotion, the officials, after doing that, huddle together, pick up the flag, say they're reversing the call.
Based on?
That's the issue. They say simply based on the official gathering everyone together and admitting he made a mistake, which followed SEC protocol. That only happened after they'd already marked it, already going the other way with Georgia getting first down, ready to go.
So someone looked up at the scoreboard and watched
which is illegal. They're not supposed to do that. That is against their protocol, and only because stuff was thrown on the field. That's the bigger key to me, was this only happened, and you're letting the team that throws the crap on the field get the benefit of doing so because it prolonged it. They looked at the board, saw they made a mistake, and reversed from the ball already being marked, completely against what should have happened at this point. And then the SEC doing the protect the league thing, their statement didn't even reference that part at all.
No, you're kidding me.
So the statement from the SEC office, with 3:12 to play in the third quarter of the Georgia-Texas game, Texas intercepted a pass at the Texas 46-yard line, returned it to the 9-yard line. Texas was flagged for committing defensive pass interference on the play, which resulted in Georgia maintaining the ball with a first down. The game officials gathered to discuss the play, which is permitted to ensure the proper penalty is enforced, at which time the calling official reported that he erred and a foul should not have been called for defensive pass interference. Consequently, Texas was awarded the ball at the Texas 9-yard line, which was the Georgia 9-yard line, but whatever. While the original evaluation and assessment of the penalty was not properly executed, it is unacceptable to have debris thrown on the field, blah, 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 blah. So didn't point out that they looked at the damn video board or that they had already marked the ball going the other way, but the prolonged delay allowed them to then change the thing after you'd thrown stuff on the field.
Because if he knew he made an error, he would have immediately, before the ball was marked, he would have gone to the head official and said, "Hey, I effed that up. I missed that."
Yeah.
I've seen him pick the flag up.
Yeah,
right?
Just picking a flag up's cool.
Like they'll call OPI. And then they'll go, because they think, or they'll say a receiver, a lineman was downfield or something. And another go over and go, "Hey, he wasn't." And they'll pick it up. You're like, okay, get it right. But again, I didn't see this.
Well, it's like, and I saw people going, no, all you want to do is get the call correct. It's like, no, now you set a precedent where just throw shit on the field. Why not? It's not their money when the school gets fined $250,000.
And so you start that, and now people are going to get hurt by debris.
Exactly.
No.
What you did by doing this was allow a dumb precedent.
Yeah.
That if you get a really bad call in crunch time, just delay the game as long as possible and see if they'll change their minds. That's what you did yesterday.
Yeah.
You didn't fix one call.
Mm-mm.
You created a stupid situation. And then didn't have the ability to say, hey, once they marked it, they should have left the damn rule as it was.
Yeah.
But no, hey.
There's a human element.
Why we're in this thing where officials can never be, I've never understood it, and it I get they're part-time, but you're still doing a job you chose to do.
And they miss stuff.
Nobody's damn forcing you. But some transparency would help the entire damn profession.
He missed a call.
If a guy comes out and goes, hey, I really screwed up, I'm sorry. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're human.
Yeah. I mean, quarterbacks throw interceptions.
So then later
People
in
miss
the day,
tackles.
the league comes out with the punishment for throwing stuff on the field.
$250,000.
$250,000, yes.
Yeah. That's pretty much the standard.
Yeah, they're assessed a financial penalty of $250,000, required to use all available resources, including security, stadium, and video, to identify individuals who threw objects onto the field or at the opposing team, and all individuals identified shall be prohibited from attending Texas athletic events for the remainder of the athletic year. And then a bunch of updating, blah, blah, blah. It says they have the ability to take away the sale of alcohol, but they are not currently doing that.
No.
Just reminding them that they do have the ability
we
to do so should they wish.
Speaking of alcohol, these $250,000 fines are going to make one hell of a party in Destin. It's going to be amazing.
Well, this one, I guess, goes to the league office, not to Georgia. Because, the field storming goes to the other team.
Yes.
So does this go to the other team or does this go to the league?
I don't know.
By the way, Tennessee seems real crushed by that whole field storming penalty because they just did the damn thing again. I did find some humor that they completely rushed the field against the team that lost to Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago.
I just don't know how you're supposed to stop 100,000 people from storming a field. I mean, you only have a certain number of cops. There's just only so much you can do. And at some point, the security cop goes, "This isn't worth it for me. Go."
Well, hell no.
I mean, I'm not winning this.
Yeah, I was thinking $12 an hour.
It's like
or whatever
that
the hell
GIF where
it
the
is.
guy's standing there and the whole cavalcade's coming at him. I mean, okay, you're not winning.
They just can't seem to get out of their own way at times, and don't want to.
They don't.
Because there's no reprimand. Why?
Talking about the
league.
Yeah.
It's a certain amount of animal farm nature to it, where it's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Well, I mean, they've got everybody's. At the end of the day, everybody eats out of their hand.
I just. My other favorite was Kirby called. Now, look. If Kirby's acting like no one believes in them, then the little engine that could bothers you, you need to take some blood pressure medicine because it just is what he is at this point. Because he did the whole spiel after the game of nobody gave us a chance, and it's like, oh my God, in hell. But
like we literally all, I think
everyone picked Georgia.
Everyone picked Georgia.
Even Vegas all picked Georgia. The money line was all on
whatever.
So, but point being, it's more of the pravda that is going on. Is that
Corso picked Texas?
Did he?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. I'm upset for him as a human because it looks so bad on TV right now. But
it really does.
I kind of would like them to go to Indiana this week and then let him call it after going home.
Is that where they're going?
Yeah, they're going to Indiana Saturday for Indiana, Washington.
I think the Fox Big Noon thing was in Indiana last week.
Was it?
I think so.
Okay. So, point being,
my head was ringing when I woke up, but I did flip around.
You didn't catch a lot of that.
The ESPN show was too loud. I didn't need McAfee screaming at me any longer. Okay. I flipped over to the other one, and it was a little more soothing.
So, Kirby called out ESPN and the network for whatever they did. I don't know. I guess I don't know. So when ESPN put out the clip of Kirby talking, they cut the ESPN comments out of the middle of the clip.
Oh, good grief.
Chopped it.
We're so sensitive.
Just chopped it out. Let him call out everybody else, but chop the ESPN or whatever part out of the middle of the clip.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like 60-minute stuff right there. I mean, come on.
He did say the refs tried to steal the game from him.
I mean,
in the moment, I don't really blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to been the guy on his sideline that was having to explain that to him in real time.
No, because Kirby's a little combustible in those moments.
He is ridiculous. Like, I find myself having a hard time pulling for him.
Well, they've lost, one regular season game in 4
He's
years?
good
It's
now.
probably, my point is it's probably a little difficult to convince your kids all the time that, hey, everyone's against us. Everyone's picking against us. No one believes in us. It's probably hard to do that, so you're clinging to every little thing that you've got with young people.
Yeah, and you don't have much, so you got
no, there's not a lot of meat on that bone, so you're making sure you get all of it.
We're just going to lie like hell and hope something sticks.
Well, Corso did put the Texas mascot head on. I mean, he did.
So you show that to
over and over, I guess. I mean, if that's what fires up kids, okay, well, let's do it. And there were a lot of people that talked a lot about Texas being.
And you still don't think he's coaching in like 5-10 years?
I know he's not.
He was kind of purple during that event. He had lost his damn mind.
Yeah, well, I mean,
no, look, he fights for his kids though, and by God, they
that's
play
his
hard
job,
for him.
right? That's his job.
I mean this in the this isn't like a tongue in cheek because they're all field problems. They play a violent brand of football. They do. Like they are. If you're just into intensity,
when they're dialed in,
they are damn good.
They're scary,
and they were dialed in on Saturday for the majority of the game.
Now, I will say this again to Ole Miss.
Texas kind of got all happy because Texas does this shit and overvalues itself.
Mm-hmm.
And they came into Saturday with all the celebrities and the pomp, and we're about to take over the SEC, and they got hit in the damn mouth and went, whoa. I mean, you watched it and you went, oh, no. You can't block them. They're motivated.
That defense,
you're screwed.
When that defense is motivated and dialed in, boy, if you're not really good up front, it can get ugly. It can get ugly. Now, I will say this. If I'm Ole Miss and my goal is to make the playoff, I'm thrilled that they won that game. I know I'm in the vast minority on this.
You're right. No, yeah.
I mean, but I think I'm right. I'd rather look, I got to beat Georgia one way or the other.
Yeah, give me a primetime game after they beat Texas. Let's roll. I mean,
where a win looks sexy as hell.
Yeah.
And look, if you lose the game, you weren't going in. It doesn't matter. But you didn't need to lose to 3-loss, turns out to be average Georgia.
I agree with that. Most likable, successful coach ever, Pete Carroll. I think that's probably right. Yeah. To the masses.
Yeah. What's interesting is that off the field, Kirby's an incredibly likable person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's top of your like have a beer guy.
Maybe at the top.
Yeah.
Just on the field, he fights for his kids. It's game day. He's that guy. I live with one in my house. On the field is a different person than he is off the field. And Kirby's that way. And when he shows up to coach, he's playing. Watch him on the sideline. Dude's running around. I mean, he's in it. He's totally in the game. Not a lot of he's just, especially when they're on defense, man, he's jacked.
That is the counterpoint, and I don't know. I think I agree with Neal, but you are at the point of just trying to get 3 losses on a bunch of teams right now. Like at some point, you got to eliminate somebody. I don't want to be in a tiebreaker with Georgia at 10-2.
No,
because you're going to lose it.
I would think,
even with a win.
You know, it's too early to say what's going to happen, but I mean, there's a decent chance that we're doing evaluations of 3-loss resumes. I mean, I
had a buddy the other day send me a thing, and more than half the years, a 3-loss team has finished 11th in the country. Now, again, I don't know about all the tie-in stuff, so don't get me on that. But just in general, a 3-loss team has finished 11th in the country more than half the time.
It's frankly a mental exercise that I'm just not really invested in yet to go down that road, and might get there. We'll see. I don't know. Got to see what A&M does. A&M and LSU play this weekend. Someone's going to get a second loss. Someone's going to come out of that looking like a really good 1-loss team.
Oh, A&M wins it, and they almost just they're in.
I know.
Well, no, because kind of, because your second loss could even be Texas at the end. No. So you're literally talking about winning a non-con, beating Arkansas and Florida.
Well, if we're going to stick, see, that's my thing, right? Yeah. I've had this argument with people, and everybody yells at me, but if we're going to do the deal of, 2 losses, you're in no matter what. Okay, well, then A&M, if they win Saturday, they're probably in. Because then a loss to Texas at the end of the year doesn't hurt them. And I look at their resume, and I'm like, who'd they beat? Yeah, but, they didn't beat anybody. Well, you said it didn't matter. Hey, if you only lose twice, you're in, can't just apply to your team. It's got to apply to all teams.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri's sitting here right now. They have 1 loss. They don't look very good. No. But if they go 10-2, and I guess they could, if they go, who do they play this week? Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they were to win by 1 point in Tuscaloosa somehow, they're probably going to make it. And you're going to go, who'd they beat? Well, nobody. But if those are the rules.
Yes, saw it mentioned earlier. I assume all you guys saw it. Will Hall fired at Southern Miss yesterday. It was just a matter of time. Yeah. He's owed $860,000.
Congratulations to Will. You'll have a much happier week.
Yes.
They fired him a year ago.
Yeah.
They castrated him a year ago. I'm not sure anybody.
That job is so damn hard.
It might be impossible.
That job is terrible right now.
You're the third school in a small state.
And you've been dwarfed by the other regional teams around you when it's not the Jeff Bauer days where you were the hoss.
Well, now there's South Alabama's got a legitimate program. Troy has a legitimate program.
ULL and ULM don't suck.
Louisiana Tech's not, well.
That's the one.
They're pretty shitty, but yeah, but you're just kind of surrounded. And the transfer portal eats you alive. JUCO football's not what it used to be.
No, it's really harmed right now.
And so it's just not, you don't have the same, and you're not particularly invested, and I don't know how much more invested you realistically could or should be. It's not to get on that topic, but it's why there needs to be divisions.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to be in that division anymore. They need to go back to playing in the old division. And someone goes, well, there's not enough money to do that. Well, then figure it out.
Yeah. Start looking at a few lines for the week just so we can talk about games at the same time.
Oh, and Doors Rules makes a good point. Says fans want Derek Nix. I'll be honest. If you're Southern Miss and you hire anyone other than Derek Nix, you're out of your mind. Is Derek going to necessarily win big there? I don't know. Does Derek going to make people feel good there? Yeah, for a little while. Is he a guy that would at least give you a chance recruiting inside the state?
Knows every damn body
Literally
in the world.
knows everybody. You take Johnny 3-star, you load up, and you try to keep those guys to buy into that program and develop some culture. And I'm not saying Will didn't do that. I don't really know what Will did or didn't do. I didn't pay enough attention.
There.
But if you're not going to hire Derek Nix, I don't really know what you're doing. He checks a lot of boxes for them. And it's not a certainty. He might come there and lose big too. I don't know. It might not be possible to win there. But if I'm sitting in the room in Hattiesburg, and I can't believe we're spending this much time on this. This is my fault. I mean, Chase is like me either. If I'm sitting in the room, I'm going, why are we doing this? Let's just agree to a contract with him.
And see what happens.
And let's just give it a shot. Let's all get behind him.
Yeah.
Give him a chance. If it works,
we're not cutting his
great.
legs out in 24 months.
No, we're going to give him 4 or 5 years. Let's give him some time. Derek would do it. Retirement, all that stuff.
Oh,
chance to be a head coach. Jump off the ship in Auburn before it sinks. There's a lot there. I'd get it done. Hey, I'd call his people and go, we can't pay you what you're making today.
But let's figure it out.
Can we figure something out?
Yeah.
We'll give you an extra car, come home, whatever. We'll figure it out. Come home. Let's see if we can.
Country Club's all right. We'll do something.
And it'll either work or it won't. But I'm not doing some deal where I'm hiring some cat that was the OC at Boise or something.
That's not the answer.
He might be one hell of a football coach. He might have the best chalkboard scheme. Just doesn't. It's a different deal. I got to have somebody who knows how.
Yeah, and they would let Hugh blame it on him and go, "Hey, problem's out of the way now. We're about to roll."
Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll get to Auburn. Did Auburn play this week?
Yeah. Oh, they played. They played Missouri.
Oh, I said, do they play this week?
Oh, sorry.
I watched a good bit of the Missouri game. I saw the first half, and then we left to go to campus, and I saw the part of the end.
Okay. By the way, Lincoln Riley, USC falling to Maryland on Saturday.
Oh, did they really?
29-28. Big comeback for the Terps.
Wow.
On Saturday. So Lincoln Riley has ranked 2 football programs now in the matter of a few years, but he's getting paid $88 million to do it all over the course of the life of the contract.
Hey, man. If you can find that work.
He can work on his brisket, get it rolling. I mean,
his brisket looked bad.
It looked very dry. Did not look appetizing.
And the fact that he tweeted that out was a judgment thing. Like, everybody's screwed up a brisket here and there.
Sure.
I mean, I've screwed up a brisket. But I didn't take it and tweet it out and go, look at this piece of magnificent work.
Look, they're probably going to win because teams also are really struggling going across the country. But SC coming off the Terps loss, they had a hangover after Penn State. They got Greg Schiano coming to town on Saturday. You better show up. Rutgers can get you.
Well, they'll show up to play.
North Carolina, Virginia, don't care. Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, don't care. Notre Dame Navy, suddenly a game on Saturday. The Fighting Irish in Annapolis to face the Midshipmen.
Hey, This might be a coincidence, and it might not be a coincidence.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is AP ranking, so take it for what it's worth. That's up to you.
Okay.
We all have different opinions.
All right.
But we've used AP rankings nationally for a long time as a sign of something.
Sure.
Fair?
Yeah.
Army, Navy, and Vanderbilt are all ranked this week, and it's October the 20-something when
You're
they
right.
play. That may be just a coincidence. If you want to say it's a coincidence, I'm okay. If you want to tell me that might not be a coincidence, I'm willing to listen. Continuity, culture, different kind of kid, not reliant on the portal.
Those are the three that I don't like Indiana in the same argument because they have a first-year head coach.
And they brought in a lot of dudes from James Madison.
Yeah, so that's a different.
Right.
You didn't, but a lot of people have.
Yeah,
I hate lumping them in. That's a different conversation.
I agree.
But no, I mean, because look, Vanderbilt's going out in the portal. They went and got a quarterback. I mean, without Pavia, we're not having the discussion.
But it's one dude. They used the portal, I think, the way the portal was supposed to be done.
And they could, almost by necessity, because they don't even have the money to think about high school guys. Clark said that. He goes, we have not given a single NIL dollar to any high school commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Only portal guys.
So they're recruiting a different kind of high school kid.
And then you got Army and Navy that have a ton of continuity. They take advantage of teams with less depth because you've got more mistakes down line when guys get on the field. And in that offense, it's assignment football. You have got to, by God, go to your gap and know your assignment and do the whole thing. And
so they play smarter.
I mean, I'm telling you, I've watched Army and Navy a couple times, and it's one of the more entertaining things because it was said on Twitter, I don't know who said it, but when teams aren't playing assignment football and they get frustrated by what Army and Navy are doing to you, and it's only this early in the second quarter and they're running for 10 yards a pop, you are in football hell, and you can't get out of it.
Yeah, Grind says need more data. I completely agree. That's why I'm saying
It's just a thought.
I'm not ready to reach a conclusion.
It's a hypothesis.
It's a hypothesis.
Yes.
And I'm willing to listen to the hypothesis and think about it. I'm not willing to go, this is the way
Duke
it is.
Duke is 6-1.
Because I'd add them into my mix.
Let's look at them too.
But yeah, it's an interesting thought process. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm not willing to go hey, here's what I'm not willing to do anymore. I'm not willing to go, oh, no, that's right.
I do think teams with tons of continuity, they know who they are, they can feast on the mid-level team that has some culture issues. Because you're just hammering them over and over.
It's the first time that I'd be willing to say that I think the service academies, if they played an SEC schedule, would win a few games.
Yeah, that's fair. Navy getting 13.5 on Saturday.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Now, Notre Dame's talented.
They are. Much better.
And the talent might just overcome all that stuff. But you know what? I'll probably put that game on my computer in the press box.
Yeah.
If Ole Miss Oklahoma goes the way I sort of think it's going to go, I'll probably put that on, and I might get interested in it.
Indiana trying to go to 8-0 with a home date against the Huskies on Saturday. They are 6.5-point favorites over Washington. Again, game day will be there in Bloomington. They have played a paper-soft Big Ten schedule, but gives Kurt Cignetti a ton of damn credit. It's Indiana, and it's late October, and they're undefeated.
So if you're Kurt Cignetti, do you capitalize right now, strike while the iron is hot, and take one of these SEC gigs that's about to open up? Yes. I agree.
Yes.
You leave Indiana.
Yes.
And you let people criticize, and you just do your thing.
I don't care.
Right?
No one cares. Auburn is not going to care. I'm naming a team.
Whoa.
I'm naming a team. Generic U. Sorry.
Wow.
Well,
you didn't say generic U. That's not what came out of your mouth. You said Auburn.
Well, it might not be Florida. Billy Napier.
Oh, it might not be.
Look.
Hey.
Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Here's what all you got to know about, and this says more about Oklahoma than Ole Miss, obviously. In August, the line on this game was Ole Miss -6 before the season started. That line is now 19.5 this morning, or even 20.5, depending on the book of your choice. Oklahoma is horrid offensively.
They fired their offensive coordinator.
Seth Luttrell's been fired.
That'll fix it. But sometimes that does spark something.
Okay.
They're so bad up front.
They've been bad the whole year up front.
Yeah.
Offensive line is a disaster for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So that's causing a lot of their problems.
They couldn't block South Carolina. And once they fell down 2 scores, is night-night.
South Carolina hammered them on Saturday. Here's your one. Okay, couple things at the same time here. If you wanted to take Oklahoma on Saturday, if you did, because I mean, on paper, everybody's going to go, "Hey, Ole Miss, they're going to outscore them." Blah blah blah.
So if you want to take Oklahoma and get your 20 points, in other words,
yes. Here's your argument for doing that.
Okay.
Ole Miss has really struggled in league play offensively. They're averaging 24 points a game,
something like that.
Something like that. They are not using the middle of the field from a depth standpoint. I wrote about it yesterday. Compared to last season, Ole Miss is basically throwing something at the line of scrimmage in a simulated run play with RPO, or they're throwing the damn thing deep. That is what they're doing. They've had a bye week. Maybe they're getting healthier on the O-line. Maybe, well, you are going to see some different things because Lane essentially said that. They probably are getting Jaden Williams back, which is huge. I think this line is a little inflated Vegas-wise, though. And again, Ole Miss might win the game by 30 points. I probably will pick Ole Miss, but that would be the best news for Oklahoma in the world because I'm like 47 games under 500. But that game included 2 non-offensive touchdowns for South Carolina in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, a pick six and a fumble return.
Oklahoma's been giving up a ton of special teams and defensive huge plays for the opponents that have done some of this. From a straight offensive game, it was fairly competitive. Now, look, Ole Miss hammered South Carolina. No transitive property, just saying.
Yes.
So the formula is do what the South Carolina defensive line did to Oklahoma. You do the same thing, and you're gravy. And even if you win the game 24-3, you win the game 24-3, and you move on with your day.
South Carolina is one of a handful of teams that if the football gods come down to you before a South Carolina game and say, I'll give you one stat, say, give me turnovers.
100%.
Because if South Carolina wins the turnover battle, they probably win it.
If you give them some help, suddenly
if they lose the turnover battle, they have no chance.
I guess my point is the South Carolina game, while a blowout, and while I'm not calling for an Oklahoma win over Ole Miss or anything like that. Ole Miss is going to win the damn game, but that game was not the line of scrimmage blowout that it was necessarily look like on paper, is what I'm telling you. It was 2 scores back the other way.
No, I had it on. It was. I didn't.
And with Oklahoma down 21-0 immediately and scrambling, I expect Jackson Arnold, and I expected a very conservative, bad offense, but maybe not one that's just giving the ball away every 2 minutes. It's kind of what I think is coming Saturday.
No, I think they're going to play Arnold and try to replicate some of the Kentucky game plan.
Again,
shorten the game.
Again, 20 freaking points. It's just so many points.
It happened so quickly, too, that they were shell-shocked.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll look at other games in a second. First, at Citizens Bank, you're not just an account number, you're a valued member of the community. Now, if you find yourself in the market for a mortgage, another reason to give them a try. Whit Wilson, who many of you know in the mortgage space, is now at the Citizens Bank and ready to help you with your real estate goals. So stop by 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E in Oxford to speak to Whit or any other experienced qualified bankers. And while you're there, mention the School Spirit debit cards. They donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com.
Are you retiring soon? How long should you take Social Security? What account should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paints by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite quartz or anything else, window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. Call them at 662-226-3127. Arnett's Fine Jewelry is a fourth-generation jeweler. Arnett's is located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building, North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, genuine color stones, diamond jewelry, and more. They have super gifts for any occasion, birthdays, graduations, anniversary gifts. We're about 2 months away from Christmas. So if you're thinking about that, go check them out. We're on your weekend here in Oxford at Arnett's. They want to be your jeweler. The College Corner is the place to come if you're coming up this weekend. There's football. There's actually basketball Sunday morning. So you can get all of your gear at the Oxford Commons right in the Oxford Commons, right off of Sisk Avenue at the College Corner. More than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear available. Plenty of parking. They'll have you in and out, ready for the Grove, ready for Vaught Hemingway in no time. It's collegecornerstore.com. We're also brought to you by Argent Wealth. It's formerly Pinnacle Wealth. Argent is based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much, much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. It's myargentwealth.com. Brought to you by Regency Travel Incorporated. John Edwards at Regency Travel. He uses Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. If you're trying to plan a special trip that creates a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. Give him a budget. Give him some parameters. He'll give you options you won't find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net.
The men's clinic is located in Madison and Brandon. That's in Madison, 601-607-7869 or themanthing.com. I've got a call with them today. I'm actually kind of excited about it. We took some blood work last week, looking at metabolic function, insulin, testosterone, a lot of stuff among their services that they have offered there. Everything from body composition to, again, the testosterone optimization. They got lab panels that are specialized for men, tons of different things, hair loss, erectile dysfunction, whatever you need at the men's clinic, they can help you out with those things. Again, that is in Madison and Brandon. You book an appointment, they can treat you from anywhere after that initial visit. So again, that's themanthing.com, the men's clinic, Madison and Brandon. Yeah, you mentioned Ole Miss plays Illinois in a charity matchup Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. The day after the Oklahoma game, and that one. You can still get tickets to that, by the way. I've got that up here. 1 second. I will tell you while I'm talking about it. That is just the Ole Miss ticket officer, or OleMissSports.com to get tickets for that. And then baseball renewals still going on through Halloween. Remember that as well. You can call 662-915-7159 for baseball or softball tickets and renewals there. But yeah, the benefiting Casa, North Mississippi, Sunday, 11 o'clock against Illinois. Ole Miss basketball played a scrimmage in Shreveport against Houston in the last.
That's my understanding.
That's your understanding?
Yes. He will be asked about it tomorrow at a media op, and he will tell us nothing. So instead, I'll say anybody get hurt.
I have two thoughts on these things. One, you cannot take anything from them because they're really simulated. It's not like you just roll the ball out there and play a full 40-minute game. That is, it just doesn't work like that.
No.
There are media that just, by God, wants it to work like that, and it doesn't.
No.
So did they play to a draw? Yes, they did. I don't know what to make of that.
You could maybe make a lot of it. You could maybe make nothing of it.
Last year, Houston beat Ole Miss by 4. Okay, that's what I got.
And I don't know how last year's game was played.
Yes. Typically, they are very simulated with both teams trying to work on certain situations.
Well, literally where they will play, like, for a while, take 2 hours, work on some things, and then come back and play again. Okay, well, you'll never do that in a game. I'm not criticizing it.
It's good.
It's a practice, right? You're trying to get stuff out of it. Or you'll say, hey, in this stanza, we want to work on zone.
But it would be like the NFL media going crazy about the score in one of those joint practice training camp things.
Yeah, no.
And they couldn't care two damns less.
No, because you're trying to get work done where maybe Sampson says, okay, hey, run full court on us. This stanza.
Yeah.
And hey, this stanza don't. What was that? I have no clue. Weird. Andre, thank you for the super chat. He says the last time Alabama had 2 losses before November, the beefy 5-layer burrito was 89 cents.
They are ranked the lowest they've been since 2010.
I'm kind of like Moscona here. Welcome to your new reality. They're going to lose more. I think they're losing to LSU. I think LSU is going to beat them.
Matchup-wise, I do kind of like LSU there. That makes sense to me. Nebraska coming off that pounding on Saturday. Was that Indiana?
Yeah.
They're getting 25.5 on the road in Columbus against Ohio State. Good luck, guys. Enjoy that one. Blew them off the rose a little bit when it comes to what the ceiling is for Matt Rule's team this season. They're doing a good job, but not there right now.
The story there is Cignetti, what he's doing.
It is.
And people going, well, if he could do that in year one at Indiana, I don't know.
Arkansas and Mississippi State on Saturday, 11:45 in the morning. In Starkville.
The line's weird.
Arkansas giving 7.5.
I mean, it's almost like it's a rat line because you're tempted just based on what you've seen to go, all right, give me Mississippi State and 7.5 points. And you wonder if Vegas is like, yeah, take it. Take it.
Go ahead.
Here, kitty.
Well, because State hasn't won a game yet.
No, but they've played hard. They give up a lot of points, too.
And they've used a lot of emotional energy to play hard.
But they're at home.
They are.
It's early.
Sure. Okay. Anything would – I have no feel here.
I think my question would be very simple.
I would need you to really explain why you put real money on this game.
If the football gods came down and said you can know one thing, I'd say Arkansas rushing yards.
Yeah.
Because if they can run the football, they'll win. If they can't.
But laying 7.5, I mean, you're laying a hook against the team. It's been.
I mean, I think from a betting standpoint, I would take the points. I don't know that I would bet real money on this.
Yeah, no one knows what's going to happen. This league is crazy right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I go back to my thing. Like LSU could block Landon Jackson. Maybe State can. Maybe they can't. I don't know.
But if they can, it's a whole different game.
If you can, we got a real shot. If you can't, well, he's going to be disruptive. And then we're approaching the point of the year where everyone inside that program knows this is probably it.
It's true. State is 1-6. I apologize. They have won a game. They beat Eastern Kentucky.
You don't know whether guys in that program in Fayetteville this week start thinking about next, or do they start thinking, hey, let's play hard for this guy. We like this guy. He's going out. Let's play hard for him. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
What's I looking for here? Been a weird year for UCF. They lose to Iowa State. I mean, you hate to put it on one play, but because they had a player drop the ball before he went into the end zone on Saturday, just fumbled it thinking he was already in the end zone.
I saw that.
They lose 38-35, and they are hosting a pretty good BYU team on Saturday. They are getting 2.5 or 1.5, depending on the book, from BYU in Orlando. Southern Miss, after firing Will, they are getting 24 points at James Madison on Saturday. It's going to be – I like the Dukes.
Probably.
I like the Dukes.
What's my Warhawk line with South Alabama?
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Because we just keep winning.
Are they 6-1?
Yeah.
Are they really?
5-1, 6-1. I don't know. We only loss was at Texas.
Oklahoma State getting 4.5 from Baylor.
Two bad teams.
Isn't Baylor record pretty good? Did I imagine that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
For some reason, I thought they were okay, record-wise. Oh, never mind. They're 2-4. Never mind. You're very correct. Missouri and Alabama, 2:30 Saturday. Tigers and Tide. Alabama giving 13.5 to Missouri. That's a lot. That's
a lot of points. I mean, you could talk me into laying the points, but come on. I didn't get to see that game. It just didn't work into my schedule. Kept up with it a little. Not surprised. I picked Tennessee to win. I had a really good week at Neal's picks.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
You back in it?
Yeah.
What's the season record?
It's Jeffrey and I are tied for the lead, 39-38.
Oh, I thought you meant with Siskey. Sorry. I don't care about Neal. Sorry, I thought you meant with the one that actually mattered.
That's lost. Aka told me that.
Oh, so you've given up like the major leagues now. We're just trying to win the AAA batting crown is what we're doing. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, just because you're in last place, don't minimize the competition. You're only 6 out.
Oh, well. So I actually picked up a game. I was 7 out last week.
Brian is 1 game behind me and Jeffrey.
Okay.
Luker's 4 games behind me and Jeffrey, and you're 6.
That says more about y'all than me.
It says a lot about it. It might say a lot about all of it.
Okay. Well, it does. No, I said that on Thursday, and I meant it. It was much easier.
You lead the overall record, not
Well,
spread.
really, it's on y'all. Just
Picking
chose the wrong
winners.
metric. I mean, not my fault. Who cares about these spreads?
But like
If I
Missouri,
was a newspaper beat writer, I'd be rolling right now because they
Oh,
just picked the winner in
picked
the
the
little
winner.
box.
I don't know that Missouri and Alabama. Is it possible that neither team is any good? That they're both just very average?
It is, yes.
I mean, we're going to do this deal where because it's Alabama and all the storied tradition and blah, 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 and their people are so emotional and passionate about it and they're angry and they're going to talk about it like they didn't like Tyler did this thing last week about meeting the standard, and maybe the standard's changed.
Well, it has.
And so maybe you're just not what you used to be, and it happened quickly. And maybe you're back to being what you were pre-Saban, which was a good team. Solid. Good program.
He's there can't be a more unenviable situation than what Kalen DeBoer.
That was pretty predictable, wasn't it? That replacing Nick Saban would suck.
Who's still hanging around.
He's everywhere. He's not hanging around.
Like I said, his legacy is actually getting better by the day.
He's
getting bigger by the day.
Yeah, he's everywhere. He's on game day, and then he's at your stadium.
Watching you do this.
Yeah. And every time that you do something bad, they can pan the camera over to Saban. And the natural thought is, well, he wouldn't have lost this. He wouldn't have screwed this up. And I don't know if you're right or wrong. I don't know. We'll never know because he's not doing it. I mean, it's conceivable that Alabama and Missouri are both just overrated teams. They're fine. Not bad. Nobody watches Missouri and goes, they suck. I disagree. I've seen people go, they suck. Oh, no, they don't. They're fine. The quarterback's okay. They've got some weapons here and there. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're fine. But there's nobody watches Missouri and goes, man, that's a damn rolling ball of butcher knives right there. No, nobody does that. But nobody does it with Alabama either because Jalen Milroe's not that good.
He had a hell of a half. He had one hell of a half against Georgia.
He did. An inexplicable half for Georgia. I'm sure Kirby goes, I don't know how that happened.
He was seeing ghosts everywhere. Tennessee was winning at the line of scrimmage. And
no, Alabama's not very good at the line of scrimmage.
No.
You know, I mean, so you get back to this and, okay, that's like my thing. Like we'll have AJ today on McCready and Siski. And my thing is if you took the uniforms away and just put on a generic uniform, would anybody go, man, this team's really underachieving? I don't know. They might go, this team's just kind of whatever. If I took off their uniform and put them in a Michigan State uniform, would anybody have this passionate of a – probably not. You're really limited at quarterback. You don't have weapons everywhere the way that they normally do. And they're nowhere near as deep as they used to be. I mean, I'd probably take them. I think they'll beat Missouri, but that's a lot of points.
Illinois is at Oregon. Oregon's the new number one team in the country, and they're giving 21.5 to Altmaier and the Illini in Autzen on Saturday. Again, it's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points because Illinois is –
they have an identity.
They've shown they can hang tough in games. Like they lost to Penn State, and they were never really in the game, but they didn't get blown out.
And
everybody's fighting me on now. Mizzou sucks. I mean, so if Mizzou sucks, then I don't know what it says.
See, you're doing the same thing. We talked about nobody's great.
Yeah.
It's the other way, too. Everybody's just in the middle.
I don't know that anybody sucks.
You're saying they suck based off people being great. Nobody's great.
Like, so Auburn doesn't have a win in the league, and I've watched them play 3 or 4 times, and I don't think Auburn
sucks. They have no
sucks.
quarterback. Their roster's not terrible.
Yeah, I don't think they suck.
A lot of teams would kill for Jarquez Hunter right now.
Yeah, they're limited, obviously, and they don't know how to win right now. And so when something goes wrong for them late in the game, they go, okay, here we go again. That's on the head coach.
Texas is going to cover 18.5 in Nashville on Saturday?
I don't know. How healthy is Pavia?
I think I'm taking Texas here. But no, Jeffrey was exactly right in his picks. The best offense that Texas had played was Mississippi State come before Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, Texas,
and Georgia put up 30.
Texas hasn't done much. I don't know. I know what I'm cheering for. God, give me the chaos. Give me a Vanderbilt win.
I mean, that's hard to buy.
I'll pull the trigger on my Clark Lee.
That's hard to buy.
Quarter zip, and that'll be my Halloween costume. And no one will get it, but I'll have fun laughing about it.
Then here's your game. ULM is getting 7.5 at South Al on Saturday.
We're getting 7.5?
You are.
Hell yeah, let's go.
You're getting 7.5.
Let's do this.
Is that a McCready and Siski pick?
I don't know. haven't made my own picks in 3 weeks. It's actually been sort of refreshing. I haven't had to spend that hour looking at picks. I've outsourced it. Maybe I'll get Campbell back on and outsource it again.
There's a weird psychology there. So when you lose, it's somebody else's fault.
Oh, it's not even that. You just don't even. You just don't waste time on it.
Okay. Oh, nobody said you have to spend an hour doing it.
That's true. I could just pick some
Mini,
games.
mini, miny, mo. Catch a
Sure.
tiger by the toe.
Yeah. Or I could just go all Tigers 1 week.
You could.
Just take every Tiger
I'm going
team.
to take Auburn, Missouri, LSU down the
Yeah,
list.
just go find Tigers. Take Cats, Jungle Cats,
Jungle Cats.
Bengals, Panthers.
Kansas State.
Yeah, Wildcats. Find a Bobcat somewhere. Go with them.
2 seasons that have not gone quite as expected in either direction, even though Miami here's your best one of the day. In August, this line was Florida State -1 against Miami.
Wow.
In August, you could have gotten it. Knowles -1. Today, it is Miami -22.5.
They're 1-6.
They suck.
And the one was barely. Like, holy. Wow.
The bloom and the rose and the whole deal.
Like, people thought who underachieved. I'm like, listen, guys, that contest is over.
Yeah. There's one at the top of that bad boy.
Holy cow. They lost to Duke. Kudos to Duke, by the way.
6-1.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, today, Miami's in great shape for the playoff and a bye, and Cam Ward's probably your 1 or 2 Heisman person right now, depending on how you want to dictate the Boise State running back.
Yeah.
I would pick the Boise State running back, but it's up to you. Literally.
I mean, I literally got a thing from them this week, like validating stuff or whatever, and I thought to myself for a minute, who would you even vote for? And I was like, I don't know. And moved on. I'll think about it later.
Utah's OC quit this week, too. They're giving 3 to Houston on Saturday.
He quit?
Yeah. Step down, quit.
Quit or was told to quit?
I don't know.
Encouraged to quit?
Don't know.
Okay.
Just said he quit. Michigan State is this weekend. Michigan giving 5.5 to the Spartans in Ann Arbor.
Woof. Michigan State beat Iowa.
Did they?
Had a pulse.
Okay.
Yeah.
LSU, Texas A&M, 6:30, College Station. A&M -3.5 against the Bayou Bengals.
I mean, I've seen LSU 2 weeks in a row in person, so I'm probably take A&M to cover here. This feels like an A&M win.
Okay. I think I'm with you.
Like, so much of A&M's thing is which quarterback's going to show up.
Because if Wakeman's good, they're really good.
If he's good, they're going to win. If he's average,
this team it almost got beat by Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LSU's, I give them some credit, man. They
just kind of found ways.
They kind of maximize their roster a little bit.
They do.
I'll tell you who's good. 40 for LSU is a disruptive player.
He won the game against Ole Miss.
He was a problem for Arkansas.
I mean, that's why that targeting was such a big play, because him out, Ole Miss wins the game.
Yeah. He was a problem for Arkansas.
Yeah.
He
Forget even the penalty yards. It was him out of the game.
Yeah. He did a really good job of containing Green, who's an elite athlete.
Yeah,
when you watch Green in person, you're like, whoa, that kid can really run.
He's done a fantastic job, and especially with Parrish out Perkins out after getting banged up. So, or out for the year, not banged up. Look at the rest of the games in a second. First Inning Spark, the latest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service. That's AnySpark.com. AnySpark, get connected. Stay local.
I get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself at corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. Call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands, 100% free, nothing to lose. MyPerfectFranchise.net, Andy at MyPerfectFranchise.net, or 404-973-9901. I'll have a mailbag to you on Wednesday. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously, call and ask Art how, 612-805-5929, or email art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. Mention picks. We'll have them back to you on Thursday. They're brought to you by Kaiser Flooring, with locations in Oxford and Batesville. Kaiser provides outstanding quality flooring product and installation services to residential and commercial properties. Kaiser carries the best in hardwood, laminate, vinyl, and tile flooring, as well as carpeting. You can learn more when going to their site, kaiserflooring.com. You can call them in Oxford or Batesville. Pete DeWeese will be back with you this week. We'll tape tomorrow night. He'll get you ready for Oklahoma at Ole Miss. Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James sponsors that. They're a full-service investment team based in Jackson, providing financial planning and investment management to clients across the state and surrounding areas. Ryan Geary and his partners are a local team that utilize the strength and resources of a national firm to bring their clients an impeccable level of service. This includes access to investment strategies, portfolio managers not available to all investors. If you're interested in a no-obligation consultation, or you just want to be added to their monthly market update email list, reach out to Ryan Geary with Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James, 601-368-2215. New Raymond James and Associates Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC. And we're brought to you by Oxford Park Commission. Youth basketball registration has begun. Leagues are open for boys and girls ages 7 to 15. The season begins January the 7th. Games will be played in both the Coach Howell and Oxford Activity Centers. The cost depends on the age, but it's between $60 and $65 per player. So sign up at oxfordparkcommission.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Johnson Hill Creamery, johnsonhillcreamery.com. They're located inside Chicory Market. And with Ole Miss returning to action at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, pick up your tailgating packages this week. Use them. They feed 10, 20, or 40. Charcuterie trays are my favorite, but they got sandwich trays. They got vegetable crudité stuff. They've got grazing tables, all their artisanal cheese trays as well. So whatever you want, they've got it there at Johnston Hill Creamery. Again, feta dip, pepper jellies, so many different options. You can pick it up Friday or Saturday, and you can order right online. You can see all the options. That's johnstonhillcreamery.com. So whether you're picking up Friday or Saturday, you do that inside Chicory Market again, or just stop in any day you would like. Again, everything online, johnstonhillcreamery.com. Who's got the more difficult offseason, Kalen DeBoer or Mike Norvell?
Ooh. I mean,
neither are good, but who would you least like to be for that 8 months?
I'd probably rather be Norvell than DeBoer.
I'm with you.
If I'm Norvell, I get to go look. Everything that could have gone wrong did. It's my fault. I'm sorry. We're going to work on it. If I'm DeBoer, I still got to fight the Saban stuff.
He's not leaving.
I mean, at least like Norvell can go. I mean, you guys had Willie Taggart here. I mean,
we were undefeated last year. We can do it.
It's going to be okay, maybe. But yeah, if you're DeBoer, I mean, you're like, you people can't be pleased. And look, at Florida State, do they really expect the national championship? I mean, really? Or do they just want to be in the playoff? Alabama expects to win the national championship, the whole thing. They don't accept that the league has changed. They don't care that the game has changed.
That does not matter.
They don't care that it's a new era.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, shut up. Excuses.
Seriously.
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather be Norvell.
DeBoer would find Washington really cozy right now.
Sure.
Get some fish, have a good time.
I mean, There's no fan base more insufferable than Alabama's.
And they're not off that wagon yet.
Oh, they'll never get off the wagon.
Still insufferable.
That's not what they do.
Penn State, Wisconsin's a good game on Saturday. Penn State minus 6.5 at Camp Randall, 6:30 on Saturday night.
No,
it's a good game.
Yeah, it's fine.
Auburn and Kentucky. Somebody's going to win. In Lexington, the Wildcats giving 2.5 to Hugh and his Tigers.
Is it bad that – so we'll be done. Ole Miss is at 11. So we'll finish by 5. Is it bad that I'm more interested in Auburn, Kentucky than I am LSU A&M?
Well, I told you last week, from a storyline standpoint, I had more interest in Florida, Kentucky than Georgia, Texas.
I didn't see any of Florida, Kentucky. I don't know what happened other than the score.
Florida took advantage of Kentucky offensively.
Did Lagway play well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Florida played well. They look good. I mean, Kentucky looks awful.
If I'm Florida, I'm not blowing $30-something million to get rid of Billy Napier right now. What am I doing that for? Why exactly? If I'm in the room, I'm going, why are we firing him again? Who are we getting? Are we getting a sure thing? Because what I'm looking at in college football today, there are no sure things. Who am I getting? Is that fair?
It was completely fair.
Why?
I think he's really close to saving his job.
Why are we firing him again? What are we pissed off about? Why are we doing this? Is this an emotional decision or is this the right decision? Because there's two different things. What's Florida's record right now?
I don't know. We'll see.
They lost to Miami. They beat Samford. They lost to Texas A&M. They beat Mississippi.
They've lost 3 times.
So they're 2-2. They're 3-3, 4-3. So they're going to lose to Georgia. We got Georgia, Texas, LSU.
I mean,
Miss,
the finish is awful. They still could go 5-7 even with a win over Florida State.
Am I firing him at 5-7?
I don't know.
Who am I getting? Who am I hiring?
You're not emotional about it.
No, but I need someone in the room who's not emotional. Emotional decisions are very frequently bad decisions.
Yes.
If I'm ever an AD, and I'm getting old for that to happen, I'm hiring someone in the room as a voice who doesn't care about the school. Now, he works for the school or she works for the school, and they're paid to look out for the best interest of the school. But I want someone in that room who doesn't love the place.
What is it? What does the ACC do when Miami, Clemson, and SMU all go 8-0 in the conference?
I mean, they argue that all three of them belong in the playoff.
Who gets left out? Clemson right now only has a loss to Georgia.
Clemson right now, today, would be in the playoffs.
They would.
Miami right now, today, would be in the playoffs.
Miami's undefeated.
Yes.
Clemson's remaining schedule, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Pitt, Citadel, South Carolina. None of them play each other. SMU, barring an upset, now they have a big game against, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Pitt in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
They easily could run this table and go undefeated in the ACC in year one. They are currently only a loss to BYU in non-league play because BYU's in the Big 12. And their remaining schedule at Duke, Pitt, Boston College, Virginia, and Cal. Now, fairly tough schedule relative to the league. But Clemson, Miami, and SMU, none of them play each other. SMU at Duke, 11.5-point favorites on Saturday.
Okay, I sort of do this as devil's advocate.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not impassioned on this.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't the ACC in that scenario get 3? Why wouldn't an undefeated ACC team make it over a 2 or 3 loss SEC team? And I'm being devil's advocate. I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, they have the non-con loss, so they have a loss.
Okay.
And they're going to have a second loss. Somebody's got a second loss in the conference championship.
Okay.
I'm not counting against them. Just
sure. My point still stands. It's not really a point. It's a question.
Yeah. I mean, that is always the problem with this predicting before the season is in these super conferences where schedules are so important and we don't have tiebreakers and you don't play each other. We're going to have stuff like this every season. We just always focus on the SEC version of it. But the ACC is, now look, SMU might lose to Pitt, and then you just call it a day, and sorry, at 10-2, it's not enough.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, these things typically work themselves out. I'm just curious. I mean, why are we undervaluing the ACC because at the beginning of the year we said it would suck?
Yeah, grind hit SMU, and I loved it too. It's one of the few bets I got right. Is I loved SMU over under 7 wins in the preseason.
Oh yeah,
They were going to win 8.
Yeah,
they just were. Kansas State playing on Saturday. Kansas getting 10.5 in Manhattan. In your night game, when you need some extra juice, Neal, it's a 10:59 kick. Nevada at Hawaii.
I've never needed that juice. I'm good.
Nevada 2.5-point favorites over the Warriors on the road.
See, they got to fight for me right now because the NBA starts tomorrow night, and so you're gonna if you want to keep me dialed in, you're gonna have to give me something.
We'll hit a bunch of topics tomorrow, and I still have a ton because we use college football pretty much all day. But Dodgers-Yankees World Series, so you get the two big names.
Oh, I mean,
a lot of big talent.
I mean, you get the two big markets, the two big stadiums. You got all the stars. You got
TV mana.
Ohtani and Judge and Soto and Mookie Betts and all the big names and traditional uniforms. No one's going to screw up uniforms. We're going to have 7 elite uniform games. It's everything.
Who you for?
Probably for the Yankees.
Are you? I'm very 50-50 right now. I haven't made a decision yet. I was for the Dodgers to beat the Mets. Now it's for the Guardians to beat the Yankees simply for non-huge level salary to win.
Yeah. I mean, one of my 5 favorite all-time players plays for the Yankees. So I'll cheer for I would love for Anthony Rizzo to win a title.
Okay. He has one.
Now, look, if you're Ohtani and the Dodgers, and you got to keep in mind, just a couple weeks ago, they were 1 loss away from elimination. If they win did you see his stats, by the way, in his last 22 at-bats?
I have not.
He's batting 800 something. Not slugging, not OPSing, batting.
Oh.
Major league player? Dude, you don't hit 800 in major leagues. The pitching's too good. They can't get him out.
Mm-hmm.
He's risen to the occasion. He's risen to the moment. Soto has too. Frankly, the baseball postseason has been spectacular.
First time the Yankees have been in the World Series since 2009.
Yeah.
15 years.
It's hard to make the World Series.
It is.
It is. All seriousness, it's hard to win a pennant. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. The Mets radio announcer who's elite, Howie Rose. His call of the last half inning yesterday was spectacular.
Oh, in the loss.
Putting it in perspective in the moment. Hey, this is going to hurt right now, but when you look back at this, he said it's going to be hard to think if you're a Mets fan, it's going to be hard to look back and not smile. And he talked about how the Mets won the World Series in 1969 when he was 15.
Oh.
So he's 70. And he said, this team has made me feel like a 15-year-old.
Oh.
It was great. It was elite stuff. It was the kind of thing that it was Hall of Fame broadcasting type stuff. It was just spectacular. I'm not a Mets fan, and listening to it was, wow, this is in the moment, talking about the game, putting it in perspective, what a season they had, et cetera. Once you get to that level, someone has to lose.
He's 18 for 22 in his last 22 with runners in scoring position.
I mean, nobody does that.
Yeah, Ohtani.
Nobody does that.
Game 1 on Friday night, New York at L.A. So the Dodgers have home field advantage.
What night? Friday?
Friday night.
Why did they wait
Saturday.
till Friday?
Well, that's actually really good news for them because they go Friday, Saturday, and skip Sunday.
That's true.
It's a travel day. So you've got...
So Game 6 will be Friday night before the Ole Miss Arkansas
Well, it was
game.
set up in case everything goes Game 7s. These are done way in advance.
I was just thinking about my weekend in Fayetteville. That works out really good for me because I can watch Game 6 on Friday night.
We don't have times yet, but yes, Friday night and then on Saturday. Both games on Fox. If you'd like to go to the game, the get-in price is as low as $932 for the game.
So if we get a Game 7, it will be next Saturday night.
Friday, Saturday, off Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Off Thursday.
Friday, Saturday.
A Game 7
on Saturday
would be Saturday night. I wonder what are the primetime games in college football that Saturday night?
I don't know.
Hold on. I'll tell you what the SEC one is because that's the weekend that Ole Miss plays in Arkansas. So where's Arkansas? There they are right there. Okay, so you have Auburn, Vanderbilt. That ain't it. Florida, Georgia's a day game.
Yep.
Kentucky, Tennessee. That ain't it. State, UMass, probably not it. Missouri, Maine, I'm going to guess that's not it. South Carolina, Texas A&M. Ooh, there's nothing. Might get a record game.
Might be a baseball number right there then. That's pretty good.
I mean, look, a lot of people will watch Mississippi State, UMass, but I don't know that it's challenging.
Everywhere but Birmingham will log into the World Series.
God, that's what you love to see. Wouldn't you love to see that? What the number would be in Birmingham? Two trash teams playing at night against Yankees, Dodgers, game sevens. I'd still bet on
football would
football.
win.
Yeah.
If you'd like to bet on game one, LA a minus 130 favorite. So you got to put 130 up to win 100 and an over-under 7.5 in that one on a run scored.
Oh.
Yep. We don't have pitching matchups yet. But anyway. All right, we'll wrap there. Back tomorrow. Some NFL, a lot of stuff actually. So I had kind of a full book we didn't even get to. So do all that with you, rebelgrove.com. In the meantime, Lane Kiffin speaking around noon today. We'll have coverage of that as it moves on. So take care. Have a good day. We'll talk to you Tuesday.